Welcome. Hello, you guys. Welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Welcome. We are going to discuss the astrology from October 21st to the end of the month. Okay. And then the next video that you will see me in that is live and unedited will be next month, October, November. It will be all the transits of November. It will be more short form. And then every week I break it down even more. So this week's astrology is the next level of powerful transits. Okay. We have the new moon in Libra, and Mercury is going to enter its pre shadow phase in Scorpio. Neptune is slipping back into the sign of Pisces. Woozy doozy. Okay. And the sun is going to be transformative because it's going to enter Scorpio. Happy Scorpio. Um, what am I? I'm brain fog. Happy birthday. Happy solar return to all my Scorpios. And the cosmic tides are shifting fast. We got powerful struggles, intuitive breakthroughs, karmic turning points, and even some shocking revelations this week. Well, towards the end of the month, because I'm just going to break it all down. And yeah, if you guys are interested in this, then you are at the right place. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
3.
Okay, so let me show you some dates here, okay? And this is the monthly transits, but we're going to go all the way towards the end here. And I don't know if it's all here, but we have the new moon happening October 21st. We have Mercury in a pre-shadow phase, retrograding in Scorpio. That starts on the 21st. I am filming this live October 20th. And then Neptune is going to re-enter Pisces on the 21st. So tomorrow is a big doozy, you guys, okay? And then on the 22nd, we have the sun entering Scorpio. That means the sun will be in the last at 29 degrees in Libra. So that's going to be a big one too. So the 21st is a big one. So get ready for tomorrow, okay? And then on the 24th, we have some transits. We have Mercury is going to trine Jupiter. The sun is going to square Pluto. On the 25th, Mercury is going to trine Saturn. Then Mars is going to trine Jupiter October 27th. On the 29th, Mercury is going to trine Neptune, which is going to be retrograding in Pisces. Mars is going to trine Saturn. Mercury will enter Sagittarius, and then Mercury in Sagittarius will oppose Uranus. Okay, so let's start with this date. And I don't know if I have all my notes here. So a lot of this we will be just freestyling, which is fine because I know my astrology. I've been doing this for a while now, but I do like to have my notes because I like to give you all the information. I do want to give you a warning that if you didn't know, if you're new here, I just had a surgery, so I'm still healing. But I want to give you, I love astrology. So I want to keep you updated. Also, too, if I don't put up a video, I always keep up with the newsletter. That is easier for me. I don't have to get dressed. I can do it from my bed. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so let's talk about this new moon that we have happening tomorrow. And let me see. Let me put the exact time of this new moon. The exact time is going to be at 5:25 a.m. Los Angeles time. Okay. Now, anytime you have a Libra new moon, you're talking about beginnings of relationships. You're talking about collaborations, creative projects, harmony, socializing. It's an air sign, so there's a lot of socializing. There's being very diplomatic. I'm trying to scooch up. Also, romance, you are talking about partnerships, justice seeking, and a lot of collaboration. I think I said that already. The focus is on healing anything that's imbalanced. Maybe there is something that's communicated or something social that you're going to be dealing with. A lot of creativity, beauty, aesthetics, all that is part of this new moon, and a lot of concerns with love. Okay. But the main thing I would say is restoring equilibrium. Okay. Now, 10 major themes anytime we have a new moon in Libra, you're talking about fresh starts in relationships. Again, harmony, balance. Maybe you're collaborating with someone. Maybe you're signing a contract. Maybe there's something dealing with law and justice and fairness because you are trying to bring that balance and harmony. You are talking about the scales, elevating some standards in love, focusing on justice and law, beauty and harmony, aesthetics. Creativity is also a part of this. Redefining we is not the focus of I, it's more about the focus of us. Not us as a collective, you and I, you and a business partner, you and your therapist, you and your mechanic. A lot of mirroring behavior as well. All that is a part of this. It's not about the self, or maybe have a balance of self with others. Okay. Now it's going to be at 28 degrees. 28 degrees is a Cancer degree. So there's going to be a theme of home, mother, traditions, loyalty, faith, water, okay, something from the past, something that makes you feel safe. All that is going to be connected to this new moon. And the moon is the ruler of our emotions and all that anyway. So it's going to be a bigger theme. So maybe this is like you in a relationship with your mom, or you having a relationship from the past, okay? Venus also rules this new moon. Venus is in Libra. It looks like it doesn't have any negative or positive aspects dealing with this, but Venus is the ruler of Libra, so it's very strong. So the aesthetics, partnerships, relationships is going to be big. Also, this new moon is conjunct a fixed star, and it's called Izar. And the Latin word for Izar, Izar in Latin means veil. And it also has a deeper meaning of partnership, hidden strength, destiny revealed, maybe through duality, because it also has a strong emphasis with Mars and Venus, men and women. So strong passions, artistic feelings gained through women, friends, honor, and martial affairs. So this could be something like a partnership from a friend from the past. That could be a big thing. Duality is huge with this. So it's like two forces working together, and this is going to help you set the momentum for this new moon. New moons are about starting, fresh starts, also forgiving and releasing so you can have this fresh starts. But there's something that's very strong with partnerships. Again, maybe there's something that's hidden beneath the surface because you are talking about a veil. And maybe it will not be revealed, or maybe something will be revealed. A lot of charisma with this leadership. Again, faded unions, and the veil will be lifted. It's like it's your destiny. Mars is strong with this. So a lot of action and drive connected with this too. Okay, so that is what you have. Now, the same day that we have this new moon, again, we have Mars and Mercury. They are conjunct, and they are in Scorpio during this new moon. I want you to understand that that's going to affect the emotions and the feelings of this new moon, and it's going to bring precision, maybe some mental precision, a lot of fearlessness when it comes to communication, a lot of strategic action. So a lot of raw, transformative energy added to the emotions, a lot of truth coming to the surface, a lot of conversations being very real, and being very decisive in your choice. So that's going to be added to the emotions, okay? So just be aware of that. And then Cancer is Cancer. Jupiter, which the moon is ruling Jupiter. So this new moon is going to be affecting Jupiter, and Jupiter is squaring Chiron. Chiron, 24 degrees, that's a Pisces degree, which also represents death and ending, releasing, forgiving, and healing. So the same day we have this new moon, we also have this happening. Jupiter is very positive, so this could be a positive thing. Square is negative, okay? But sometimes when Jupiter is involved, it could be positive. But Chiron represents healing. So maybe there's some healing before you're expanding, before your growth, or maybe you're being optimistic about some healing, or overly optimistic about a healing. But Jupiter in Cancer is very sensitive, but the new moon is happening. So there's something new happening with this Jupiter energy. So Jupiter reminds us that healing those old stories is how we grow and how we heal. Just healing is the Chiron energy, okay? So be ready for that. A lot of a lot of themes of relationships. Remember, it's not about the I. So if you're doing any rituals for the new moon, you want to do them today. You want to do them before the new moon happens. So do them tonight. You can write about relationships. It's a Libra, it's an air sign. It's all about communication. So writing is really great. Balance your personal space. Work on clearing any clutter. Also, forgiveness. Anything dealing with forgiveness, release resentments. That blocks some new energy, because this is a new cycle starting, and you want to let go and cleanse that. So also taking a bath works anytime there's a new moon, cleansing your space, and really your mental space too. Okay, and it could be said with words. Now we have, let me put back currently. So that's the new moon happening tomorrow. But also what's happening tomorrow is Mercury is going to be in a pre-shadow phase here. Remember, it's conjunct Mars, but I didn't write the dates, so you guys write them down, okay? The pre-shadow phase starts on the 21st. It will officially retrograde November 9th in Sagittarius, and then will re-enter Scorpio. So when Mercury is retrograding, it's going to hit two signs, and it's going to hit two parts of your chart. I'll discuss this. I'll do a whole video just on Mercury retrograding coming up. So that means it's going to affect your Sagittarius part of your chart and your Scorpio part of your chart. If you have Scorpio placements, if you have Sagittarius placements, most likely this is going to affect you. If you have the opposition, which is if you're dealing with Taurus placements, this is going to affect you. If you have any Gemini placements, this is going to affect you. Also, too, it could be squaring any mutable signs. Okay, so the mutable signs are Virgo, Gemini, which I already said Gemini, Pisces. If you have any fire signs, okay, that are dealing with fire signs, not fire signs, I'm sorry, fixed signs, sorry. So if you have any fixed signs, it's going to be squaring your chart. So any signs in Aquarius is going to be affecting you. Any signs in Leo is going to be affecting you, okay? So just be ready for that. I will do a separate video on that, but we'll talk about it briefly here. So Mercury will be retrograding officially November 9th, and then it will re-enter Scorpio November 19th. It will go direct November 29th. I think that is going to affect Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving in America. So if you are traveling, get ready for that. You need to have patience. December 16th is when it will be out of the post-shadow phase. So just write all those dates. But now we were talking about pre-shadow phase, and when you have that, that means that a lot of things are going to be starting. Gadgets are going to start be messing up. I know today we had Amazon, I think Venmo. Even if you were working with a school campus, apparently that was messed up. I have a comment here. Hello, Sandra. Danyell, so grateful to catch your live. I miss your cosmic and wonderful energy, healing, abundant, uplifting energy for a quick recovery. Thank you so much, Sandra. You always make me happy when I see your comments. So, but I'm getting better every day. So that is the best thing. I mean, look, I decided to change hair just to add some upliftment. You fake it until you make it. Anyway, but Mercury in Scorpio, because we are going to be feeling a little bit of that retrograde. Anytime you need to do any words that start with RE, so you need to replay it, you need to review it, you need to redo it, you need to remember, require, revise. All that happens with Mercury and Scorpio. This isn't surface level energy. Scorpio is very deep. It's very intense. It likes to have power control. So a lot of intense conversations. It's very water, a lot of emotions, high emotions, taboo topics, a lot of repressed conversations, psychology. So psychological discussions and conversations or truths will be coming out. Okay. So when we're in the pre-shadow phase, we could have hidden truths begin to surface. Mercury also represents the news and headlines. So get ready to see what's going to happen with that when we see in the news. And it's going to be dealing with Scorpio energy, then Sagittarius. Sagittarius is very worldly, is overly optimistic. A lot of cultural things, a lot of things dealing with the world, and also law and justice too. Not justice, but law. So get ready for that. I'm trying to think. Oh, higher learning, education, philosophy, religion is also dealing with Sagittarius energy. So that will be retrograding. Oh, flights. Oh my gosh, flying is going to be a big, big, big deal. Okay. So if you're into predictions, that one's an easy one. Mercury retrograding in Sagittarius. Get ready for the flights to have issues. Okay. And I have a flight during that time. Wasn't my choice, but whatever. Here we are. Mental intensity rises when it's in Scorpio. Communication becomes more strategic because it's a fixed sign. Revisiting taboo topics because Scorpio likes things that are in the dark and it's very taboo. Confronting unspoken feelings. Power dynamics is going to be in dialogue, and a lot of conversations about that, or things that are written about that. You get emails about that. Scorpio is a water sign again, so a lot of intuitive energy could be happening. Shared resources is a big thing with Scorpio. So taxes, loans, debt, all that could be coming up in conversations. Okay. Yeah. So get ready for that. A lot of shadow work with Scorpio. Yeah, get ready for that. Also, too, on this day, the 21st, a lot of big things. Okay. So we got the new moon in Libra. And then we have Mercury pre shadow phase retrograde. And then we have Neptune re entering Pisces. Um, because I had surgery on my stomach, a lot of things make me nauseous. Yeah, and if I have to pause this video, there's a lot of it's hard for me to digest certain things, so there is that too. Anyway, but back to the tea. Okay, so Neptune is going to retrograde, and it's going to re-enter. Where's my Neptune here? Neptune, first of all, 0 degrees. Deception and war, deception and fighting, deception with leaders. Okay. Now it's going to enter Pisces. Oops, I'm going the wrong day. Now it's going to enter Pisces at 29 degrees. If anything was important, this is important. Okay. 0 degrees and 29 degrees are so important because 29 degrees means there's an urgency to shut things down, to close things off. Also, it's the last degree. Neptune also represents endings. Pisces represents endings. Okay. So, this could mean a lot of deaths and endings of things. No, on a more positive side, it could be closing out some healing and releasing and forgiving. That could be also a thing, but this is major. Get ready for it tomorrow. Just sit back, watch it. Okay. Don't add to the chaos because Neptune and Pisces love chaos, boy. It loves to not see things very clearly. So get ready for that. Neptune rules dreams, spirituality, intuition, compassion, illusions, things that are very unseen, conspiracy theories. It also rules, is in charge of photography, film. It's also in charge of creativity and art, romance. I'm trying to give it all to you because Neptune is ruler of Pisces, so it's all the same thing. And these things will be retrograding; they're not going to be working as best. Also aliens, things that are very unknown, conspiracy theories, and Pisces here is going to amplify all of that. So a lot of blurring of boundaries, dissolving separation, and things that are very hidden, or maybe the collective sensitivity will be more heightened. A lot of fear with this energy, fear of the unknown, fear of ending, also could be happening. Okay. Retrograde motion is that inward energy. Okay. It's not just moving backwards, but there could be some things that are repeating and redoing, but there's also internal work that could be happening. And also, when a planet is retrograding, that means these things are not working. So, there could be a big possibility that the secrets will come out. Okay, in regards to these things. So get ready for that. Oh, what do we have here? Sandra says that headlines: Virginia Epstein's, I don't know how to say her name, Epstein's book is released. Ooh, Tuesday, October 22nd. Yes, secrets will be revealed, especially Epstein. I find is whenever we have a Pisces eclipse, we always have Epstein. Epstein enters the building. P. Diddy, that kind of energy enters the building. I just want you to understand it's about secrets and darkness, that Pisces. And now we're going to see it all be revealed. So any of the conspiracy theories are going to be revealed and brought up. Also to the JFK also keeps coming up with this Neptune and Pisces. I'm trying to think what else. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein, because it's very dark and you are talking about video. Remember, Pisces represents, Neptune represents video. So a lot of things. Illusions will fade. Reality will reveal itself. Heightened intuition and psychic sensitivity, that would be happening. Pay attention to your dreams because there's an urgency when it comes to your dreams. There could be a detox spiritually, an awakening happening for you individually. Maybe the collective will become more compassionate, or maybe not compassionate because it's not working. Boundaries will be tested. Artistic creativity. Let's see if that gets heightened. Let's see if we learn something new from some creativity, or maybe the creativity you are at a stump. Okay. Deep emotional healing. I find that it will be more internal, and you will be also too. This is representing hospitals. This is representing prisons as well. So get ready for that. Let me see what else we have here. Virginia's Epstein secrets let out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm telling you, just sit back and let's see what happens with this placement, but it will be big. And it starts tomorrow, okay? So I do see a lot of illusions that will be collapsing. We will be able to see through the fog. Maybe we'll embrace some art and creativity. Maybe people will be more compassionate for something that we weren't compassionate enough. So get ready for that. What else do we have? Unfortunate Virginia had to die to be heard, believed. So Virginia, was she a victim of Jeffrey Epstein? One of, because I'm sure there's so many. This would be interesting. I would love to read that if that is a book. I love reading books. Okay, tips to work with Neptune retrograding in Pisces. Tap into your spirituality. Pay attention to your dreams. Write them down once you wake up. You want to work with grounded energy, okay? Because sometimes we're floating a little bit too much, and you need to be more in touch with reality. Question the fantasy. What is real? What is tangible? Are you projecting? Do you need to forgive? Do you need to release? Okay. That same day, we have the sun. It is quincunx. The sun is going to be in Libra at 29 degrees. Okay. The same day. So this is an urgency to close things out in relationships. So get ready for tomorrow. A lot of stuff happening. I have this on the 22nd, but that sun in Libra at 29 degrees is going to quincunx not Jupiter, Neptune at 29 degrees. So the sun highlights things, okay? Quincunx, when the sun and Neptune are quincunx, that means that something's uncomfortable. So there could be a highlighting of a secret and it could be very uncomfortable. Um, yeah, and also too, there's like an adjustment that can happen. So Sun and Libra could bring clarity in relationships, or the identity in relationships, or justice and fairness. And that Neptune, remember, illusion, surrendering, forgiving. So let's see what is going to be highlighted. But whenever the sun is involved, it brings brightness. It brings like a flashlight to the darkness here. And there's going to be an urgency. So let's get ready for that. I think there will be some clarity on maybe something that's dealing with law or justice. This could definitely be Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. Yeah, but just get ready for that. Let me see what else I have. Clarity versus confusion, boundaries blurred, logic and intuition. Um, yes, I have my notes, but I didn't reread my notes and I talk into my notes. Yeah, but there could be even this could be dealing with relationships, and it's like what you thought was a good relationship wasn't. So there could be an ending here, and there could be a closing off of that, and there's an urgency to shut this down. This could be something dealing with creativity, because both of these planets deal with creativity when you're dealing with Libra and you're dealing with Pisces. Also too, there could be collective confusion, and it could be causing some disharmony or some misinformation. Yeah, so just get ready for that. Now, on the 22nd, the sun will enter Scorpio. And happy solar return to all my Scorpios. That's exciting. Yeah, I hope you guys have fun this season. Scorpio is a water sign, so you are dealing with depth, okay? Something deep, nothing on a surface level, a lot of power, a lot of truth, a lot of transformation, a lot about going deeper. You could be in love, you could be finding your purpose. There's a lot of healing, psychology, and it's also a dark space. I find that the sun doesn't really like to be there, but it gets very dark, and things that are very taboo that people don't want to talk about, like tarot, witchcraft, or prostitutes, or the trash man, whatever you consider like that's taboo. Scorpio energy is here to say, okay, you think this is taboo? Let's bring it to the table. A lot of skeleton in a closet when you have Scorpio entering, when you have the sun entering Scorpio. Transformation, truth, rebirth is what you get with that. Now, the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto and Mars. Mars is the traditional ruler. Pluto is the modern ruler. So we like to see what they're doing while the sun is in Scorpio, and we get a lot of highlighted themes. Conspiracy theories across the board. Get ready for that. And secrets across the board are going to be highlighted. But Pluto is in Aquarius, so this is going to be more on your social media. We'll see a lot of that happening, a lot of power control with social media and freedom of speech. Mars will be in Scorpio too. A lot of passion, a lot of things leading with the sex drive there. Okay, a lot of transformation this season. Shadow work is going to be highlighted. Truth over politeness, rebirth through endings, magnetic power, psychological insights. It gets deeper. Shared resources. Remember, I told you this is about taxes, your loans, your debt. What do you own to the bank? What are you sharing with others? All the taboos will come to the light collectively. We're going to probably see a lot of truth bombs coming out. Maybe rebirth energy will be amplified. So, like anything that was old will be rebuilt into something new. A lot of intimacy, okay, with relationships, power and wealth, power hungry energy around the world. We'll see all that happening too. Now, let me see. The sun will enters Scorpio, is going to quincunx Uranus. So again, it's going to highlight quincunx is very uncomfortable. There's tension, and Uranus is either the intellect, or maybe there's some unexpected news, some unexpected information. Uranus in Gemini makes me think of all the podcasters, newscasters, anyone whose job is to communicate and talk. We'll see what happens with this, but there could be some transformative, disruptive energy happening here. Let me see. The Scorpio energy is very controlling, right? And it could be something that's very controlling. When Uranus is in Gemini, it wants freedom. So it doesn't want to be control, and it wants to be innovative. It wants to have new ideas. It's highly intellectual, highly communicative and talkative. And that could be a disruption. So let's see what it's like. You want to be safe, but then it's like the unknown is happening and it's being said. This also could be dealing with some technology, but power that's B is really controlling the technology. So surprises, sudden changes in direction, new information could challenge your plan. Scorpio wants to manage the process. Uranus wants to shock and awake. Now the sun is going to square Pluto, which is the ruler of the sun. So the next day, when it hits 1 degrees, it's going to square Pluto. This is power and ego. So get ready. This week is a doozy. Let's see what the leaders, the presidents are going to be talking about, are people who are just power hungry. That's all a big doozy. This is leadership and control across the board. Sun in Scorpio wants to be emotional, but it wants to master the emotions, and it wants to be deep, right? And a Pluto in Aquarius, it wants to transform, tear down. Anything that's dealing with systems or collective or group or freedom, again, freedom of speech, social media, AI is also what you have with this. So we're clinging to outdated power structures, and Pluto's like, let's change it. Pluto also is very intense. So there's something that could be very intense happening. Is at 1 degree. This is a war degree, a fighting degree, something that's selfish, something about yourself that could be happening. Transformation is not going to be negotiable. It's going to be very intense. So let's see what happens here, okay? Just know it's about the ego and control, and there needs to be a change here. And you don't want to have the change. They're both fixed sign. Anytime we have a square and fixed signs, it's like there's a change. You don't want to have the change. So personal power, truth, transformation, shadow work, and identity. And you're dealing with the collective and the people and fighting for the cause and rebellion. There could be a rebellion energy here, and it's going to be highlighted with something that's very secretive. The powers that be. Power struggles can rise. Shadow egos are going to be exposed. There could be a death or a rebirth for sure, and it could be very intense, and it could be something dealing with something that's very awkward or out of the box kind of person. Identity is going to be under pressure. Authority and rebellion collide. I already said that. It's just written in a different way. Truths you can't unsee, because Pluto likes to be in the darkness, and that sun is going to highlight it. This is also issues through therapy. It's like you go to therapy and you are having a rough time acknowledging that process of therapy. That can also happen too. So get ready for that. You want to be flexible. You want to be open. You want to not be power hungry. If someone is controlling you, I would say be patient, let go and let God, and have faith. Let them, think they're having control, and you just more do the, what is that called? Humble. Let them think they just have control. Humble yourself, okay? Yeah, but just know that you need to be flexible, okay? Also, this is a great time for shadow work that will be happening. You need to be open to that, okay? Now, on the 24th, it gets happier. Even though this is on the 24th, but on the 24th, we do have Mercury that will, where's my Mercury? Mercury was sitting close to Mars here, but Mercury is going to trine Jupiter. This is very positive. This is thinking very optimistic. You are dealing with emotions. There's some growth. There's some expansion, even with the truth. So while you have this transit of intensity and power hungry, you will be able to communicate it. You will be optimistic. The conversations will be flowing. Jupiter also represents wisdom and abundance. So there's something good news here. There's some good news that is going to happen, and maybe this challenge will be an issue, but then there will be good news overall. Conversations be very powerful here. There's emotional breakthroughs. Intuition will be working more than ever. Truth share. Your truth being shared will probably bring some growth. If you're being very strategic, that's going to pay off. Yeah, also too, this is dealing with ancestry and your past. So that's going to be very positive when you are researching it, or when you're organizing it, or when you're talking about it. So if you're someone trying to figure out your ancestry and your roots, this would be a very positive day to experience it. Mercury moves fast, so go ahead and really work with it on this day, which is the 24th. Yeah, so powerful agreements are formed. Public discourse deepens, family healing can emerge, hidden knowledge is revealed. Yeah, so that's what we have on the 25th. We have then Mercury, because it moves fast, it will trine Saturn. And this is great because Saturn is doomsday, okay? And now Saturn's happy, okay? Saturn is about being your public image. Saturn is about the details. It's very precise. It's thinking long term. It's about long term goals. It's the mentor. It's corporations. So there could be some positive information or news coming out about a corporation or a CEO or something long term that someone's been planning, or the government or the people have been planning. Saturn's wisdom and discipline and structure added to this conversation and text messages and email and writing things down. All that's going to be very powerful. If you have to talk to an older man, this is a great day to do it. Okay. Saturn is retrograding. So this is something that you have to redo. It's in Pisces. So there's some closing, healing, deception, secrets, blurred lines. This is the boundaries with no boundaries. So you know how like when Biden was president, the borders were open, but there was a border, but it was open. That's Saturn in Pisces. Now that it's retrograding, maybe the boundaries will be there. And not just like I'm talking about land, but boundaries with yourself, or learning to set up boundaries with yourself. And you're having great conversation about this. So, yeah, mental clarity, spiritual grounding, serious conversations, which have a long term impact, deep insight, practical planning, emotional wisdom, and there's guided through decision, concentration and focus. Anytime Saturn and Mercury are positive, the concentration is positive. So really work on anything tangible that you want results, physical results. You're talking about your money, your home. You can work on it this day, and it will really help you out. Yes, and important talks about commitment. Past lessons could be returning here because Saturn is karma, and it's also about lessons. Okay, now here Mars now enters the building. Now Mars will be positive with Jupiter, and on the 27th, and again 24 degrees ending healing, both in water signs. So Mars is having positive relationships with Jupiter here. Mars in Scorpio is about action and will and courage, and using your intuition and being deep and having power and being strategic. Scorpio loves to be very strategic as well. And now there's action towards it. This also could be sexual energies for someone in the past. Jupiter, again, growth, abundance, optimism, wisdom in Cancer, home, past, your roots. So there's a lot of success and breakthroughs. Move with intentions, the winds, the water, the emotions. are going to be all on your side. But you moving forward, you trying to achieve something, there's optimism and there's growth and there's abundance on the 27th. Okay. You're probably already going to be feeling that coming up. And it's in water signs. So a lot of effort is going to be paying off, a lot of healing, a lot of emotions, feeling confident, feeling courageous. All that is going to align to your energy of trying to achieve your purpose or whatever you're trying to achieve. Even driving is going to be great. Mars is all about Mercury is the driving, but Mars is you pursuing it. So sometimes you got to drive somewhere to pursue something. Yeah, all that would be very positive. Now on the 29th, which will be closing off the month, and on the 29th, we have Mercury. Where's my Mercury? Mercury has entered Sagittarius, okay? Before it enters Sagittarius, though, it will be at 29 degrees, and then it will be sextile square trining Neptune. So Mercury is going to be very intuition is going to be very strong. This is a great time to get a tarot read. This is a great time to analyze your dreams. This is a great time for any type of creativity, great time for relationships, discussing things with relationships, great time for healing, going to therapy. Yeah, and this is going to land on your lap. You don't have to search for it. When it comes knocking on your door, be open and receptive and be loving. And it's going to be about things that you're secret about, that's deceptive or very taboo. And it's going to be very positive. So you don't have to be secret. Don't be holding on. The truth that comes is going to come beyond words. You're going to feel it and you're going to feel very positive, and there's love. And it's going to be very urgent because it is 29 degrees, but this is very positive. This is a great urgency, and this is what we want. Now, once it hits the next day, that same day, it will be hitting Sagittarius. And Mercury in Sagittarius is very optimistic. Get ready for that. And not only is it optimistic, but then it feels like it can not feel. It thinks it can do a lot. So there's a lot of over promising, a lot of traveling, discussing the world. Mercury inter Sagittarius is a lot of truth, visions, okay, big picture thinking, taking a lead, publishing. So you're not just writing and you're not worried about the details, you're thinking about the bigger picture. Remember, Mercury is the thought, is perception. It doesn't really like to be here because it likes to be more condensed and detailed. But Sagittarius is like, no. Let's think about the collective. Let's think about the world. Let's not think about your community. Overly optimistic or great optimism, okay? Having faith. There's a lot of bold ideas, visionary thinking that you can be adventurous too. Sagittarius is a very adventurous kind of energy. No longer focus on the hidden details, but thinking of the larger story and possibilities beyond the horizon, expanding your mind, expanding the truth. A lot of discussions on philosophy and what you believe in. Truth telling takes the center stage. Expansion thinking, big ideas, visionary planning, spirituality, religion, philosophy, all is going to be big when Mercury enters Sagittarius. Also, too, debating and dialogue is huge with this. Global perspective. What does the world think? What does this country think? What does that country think? Not just what does my country think, which we need with Jupiter is in Cancer. Again, I talked about publishing, but also higher learning, broadcasting. All the podcasters going to be big with this. Okay, beliefs are challenged and rewritten. Optimism can fuel a lot of momentum for moving forward. But get ready for global conversations, global narratives. Something with higher learning could be coming up when Mercury is in Sagittarius in the news. So maybe there's a new book that's published that's a really big deal, or something in the media, a lot of collective conversations, a lot of truth bombs, because it likes to be honest when Mercury's in Sagittarius. And then too, when Mercury's in Sagittarius, it will be opposing Uranus once it enters Sagittarius. So I'm just now seeing this. So this will be interesting. Expect the unexpected. Boy. It's going to make people not, the balance is not balancing. A lot of shock, disruption, what we believe in Sagittarius versus what we know. it's going to not be balanced. So let's see. There, I would assume this is something that's going to be really big in the news, because both of these planets are dealing with the news, and it's going to be something very unexpected, very out of the box, and it's going to shake maybe things that we once believed, because that Sagittarius is about your belief, but it could be like a new revelation, some breakthrough ideas, something dealing with social media disruption in social media, disruption in conversations, unexpected encounters, or you get this text out of the blue and you're like, what the hell is this? And they could be saying a lot, a lot of truth bombs, but it could be a lot of misinformation with that, okay? And it's going to be very fast. Uranus likes to move fast, okay? So that is what we have for the week, or all the way into the end of the month. And I'll just explain. We have the new moon on the 21st. Tomorrow's a big day. We got the new moon in Libra. We have Mercury pre-shadow phase, and the new moon looks very positive. The Mercury pre-shadow phase in Scorpio, get ready for that. Neptune entering Pisces is retrograding. Not so positive, but could be positive in bringing some illusions to the truth. Coming up October 22nd, happy solar return to all my Scorpios. And this is about being deep. Okay, the energy is going to shift from relationships and harmony and justice and fairness, and it's going to shift to what is the taboo, what is the secret, what is the conspiracy theory. Get some therapy. From the 24th to the 25th, Mercury is very positive with Jupiter and Saturn, but the sun will be squaring Pluto. So I think that's going to be something dealing with leadership, presidencies, kings and queens. Really, the kings is masculine energy, power control. On the 27th, Mars is very positive with Jupiter. This is a time to get something done and do it. On the 29th, Mercury positive with Neptune. Mars is going to be positive with Saturn. 29th is a great day. Even though Mercury will be opposing Uranus, expect the unexpected, but before that, it's going to trine Neptune, so it'll be positive with how you feel, your intuition, and Mars is going to be positive with getting things done and thinking about details. So overall, for the rest of this week, we're talking about transformation. We're talking about truth. We're talking about ego, a lot of power dynamics here. Yeah, and expect the unexpected. All right. So that is what we have this week. Let me pull some cards. First, I'm going to pull a card on what can we expect that's happening for you, since you are here watching. And we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the Nine of Pentacles in the upright, Nine of Pentacles in the upright is really about abundance and you being self-made. And when it's in reverse, it's like you're guarded. Maybe you're working too hard this week, so maybe you need to relax. There could be some jealousy and envy. This is some financial setbacks. So let's see what we can have on a positive side. How can we help this energy here? We have the moon, and there's something with the subconscious. Oh, let me show you. We have the moon. So again, pay attention to your dreams. You're thinking in lack, you have fear, you're in the darkness, you want to see the light, but sometimes you need to be in the dark because you need to have faith, you need to trust God. And when you are lacking tangible things, you need to understand that we were born just as we are. So you kind of don't need the tangible things. I mean, you need food to survive, but other than that, you don't need the clothes, you don't need the hair, you don't need the glasses. And money is very transactional. It moves very fast. So one day you can be rich, the next day you can be poor. Okay. One day you can have the big home, the next day you could be homeless. I want you to understand that it's very transactional. Just like it can come, it can go, but just like it can go, it can come. So you have to understand that it is not a permanent state. And there is something hidden, and you need to trust your intuition and you need to have faith in God. Okay. So that's what we have for you guys this week. Let's see what we have for the collective this week. All of the cards in reverse. For the collective, in the news, we're going to be seeing, what is this? This is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So a lot of finances, a lot of stocks, a lot of money is going to be lost this week. The economy is not going to be looking good. Also, this could be a issue with a female leader who is known for finances, or someone you go to for resources. But yeah, people this week could be very materialistic. Maybe there's a gold digger who's going to be in the news. There's jealousy, a lot of greed, but it's more the female energy. Let's see what else we have this week. Still in reverse. A lot of retrograde. Okay, when I think of cards in reverse, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. This is a collective. This is not necessarily you. This makes me think of the government in Nepal. The government's not what is it? It's closed. I don't know what it's called. But the Nine of Wands in reverse is that there's struggle. People are very defensive. There's paranoia. They're very exhausted. They're being stubborn. Maybe they're giving up. What can we do about that? Again, in reverse. I promise you. I turn the deck. What can we do about this? We have the Hierophant in reverse. All the cards in reverse makes me think that there is something more internal that we need to go into. We need to think about what we feel more than what we see, the illusion of things. But you need to focus on your personal belief, and maybe there needs to be a new method of doing things, okay, for the collective, and they need to be open for that. All right. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm so glad I was able to do this and complete this. I am so tired. That takes a lot of energy. Anyway, but I don't want to complain because I enjoy doing this. I love doing this. I will see you guys next time. I don't know if I can do any more videos this week. We'll see, but I definitely will be back to do the monthly astrology. All right. I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.